Yo, what up, this is your boy King Series straight from Busy Home Beat, and in today's video I'm just going to explain to you how to mix your Afrobeat so that it can actually sound professional and good for you if you are struggling with mixing your beat and everything. So let's just get into the video, but let me play some part of the beat for you guys, then I'll explain to you some tricks and techniques that you need to use in building up a good beat and everything. So let's go. KSBEATZ-KAMA. Yeah, so that's the beat. You can actually hear that it sounds good, nice and clean. Nothing is actually crashing over here. So first tip I always tell you, if you have been following me on this channel, what I always tell you, select the right drum kit. So if I'm playing only the drum for you, that's the first trick that you're supposed to know. I'll give you a whole lot of techniques here. So the drum kit, today is it. So you can see that the kick is quite good. It's not bad. I used this kick and I didn't like the way it sounded. You can actually see. Yeah, I used it and the way it was playing with it, I didn't like it. Some people, you can actually put it on a mixer like I did here, 11. Then use your EQ or compressor or anything to get the kind of sound you really want. But I always want to stick with the natural way by selecting the right things. You understand? Somebody will ask, how can I know that this kick is right, or this snare is right, or this clap is not right for me to use without putting EQ or anything on it? Yeah, you can only know by practicing. I mean, doing it for a very long time, you understand? Or you can go by doing some comparison with a certain track that you think is similar to what you are actually creating. So whenever you are putting the EQ or compressor on it, this is what you want to get. You do comparison of those two those sounds and your own, then you can actually know that, okay, this is what I want, so I'm working towards it, rather than just putting EQ or compressor on it, treating it in a way that you don't even know where you're actually going. You don't even know how you want the thing to sound for yourself. So first trick is selecting the right samples like I did here. This is not actually disturbing anyone. This guy here, it's not disturbing, it's clean, right? It's not disturbing. You see, this one too is not disturbing anyone. We have some claps and snare that actually disturb. Nice drum kit over here, you understand? So if you want correct drum kit, there's a link in my description that you can just click on it and purchase some kind of drum kit that I dropped almost last week there. Yeah, so purchase it. It's not expensive. Try and purchase, invest. Okay, so that's the first trick, selecting the right drum kits and sounds. You can actually see that for the tones, what I did here is I use Purity. Most of the sounds are from Purity. This chord, it's from Purity, and this from Purity. That's the bass. This guy too from Purity. So make sure you are selecting the right sounds. Yeah, that's the first thing. And the second one is gain staging. I always tell you, gain staging is really important. If you really know how to gain stage very well, then trust me, 80% of your sound is already mixed. You understand? So you can actually tell from this knob here, from the channel rack here, that I did lower some sounds here. Well, yes, this guy here, I lower it before even sending it to the mixer. This one too, I lower it before sending it to the mixer. And this guy too, this is the row. I use this to create the row. I create it myself, so before sending it to the mixer. So when it came, when I send everything to the mixer, what I did here is gain staging. Then that's the next thing I did after selecting the right samples that I think will work for me. So if I select this part and play everything here. So there's the target. Now the kick, you have to select where you really want it to hit, but where it was hitting, I check. Okay, let me just take this things on the master off. This is where I really wanted it to hit. You understand? That is because the kick is the one making the song really heavy. The kick, the bass, the low ends, I wanted it to hit really well so that I could actually feel the beat. First of all, my kick supposed to be the loudest thing here, and my snare or clap or anything that you are using. So this is where the kick is actually hitting. This is the target. Sometimes I come to 9, sometimes I come to 12, depending on how hard or how soft the kick is. You understand? So this is where it is hitting now. Then the guy here, this guy, you can actually see it's actually hitting around this side between 12 and 9. That's I'm gain staging, because when I put it at 100%, it was actually disturbing me. You understand? So I just have to bring it down around 90%. That's the gain staging that I'm actually doing. Then this guy, can see where it is hitting. And one thing, don't stick to rules. So if you are using your ears, it's always better than always trying to follow rules that they say the kick should hit here, the snare should hit here, the percussion should hit here. Some percussions don't hit really loud, but when you check the meter, they even overpass the 6 dB or the 3 dB. You understand? So are you going to try to tell me that it's not hitting high, so you are going to lower it for you not to hear it? You could actually, if you do that always, you always lose the energy of the beat. You get it? So sometimes always use your ears to check that. But if you are using meters, to try and make sure that you are not actually overdoing it, following the meters all day. So the kick, I put EQ on it to cut the low end. So without this EQ, this is how it sounds. And with the EQ on it. Okay, so this guy too is here. Then this where my conga is, my thumb is actually hitting. Then this guy, this ones are just to support the beat, so I need not to make sure it is really loud or anything. So you can see where it is hitting if you are using the meters to check. And I didn't pan them, I just left them like that. Yeah, but you can sometimes pan it just to create space for if you think some things are crashing. Yes. And this guy, so you can see how low this guy is. Some people will actually bring it way up just to disturb them, just supporting the beat. Look at where it is hitting on the meter. Yes, and the shakers too, I did lower it very low. I just wanted the shaker to fill some spaces in the beat. I didn't want it to be like disturbing me a lot, because if you bring it up, it was actually disturbing. You can see where the shaker is actually hitting. So don't stick to meters. Sometimes you watch a tutorial or video on YouTube and maybe the person's shaker was hitting around 21, 24, 27, or even 18 dB. And it was sounding good for you. So you to your own, you go and just boost it or push it around 18, 21, 24 dB. And at the end of the day, you could actually see that the shaker is disturbing, but still you don't want to bring it down. Why? It's because you watched somebody's video and it was like that. Always make sure that what you are doing, nothing is actually disturbing. That is the trick. Mixing is just cleaning things and making things sound good. So if this thing is really loud and is disturbing me, the meter is here and is disturbing me, why don't I have to bring it down for clarity purpose? You understand? So don't follow rules, use your ears. I always tell you the truth, use your ears. So because if I bring this thing way up from here to this side, listen, for this you can actually see that it's not disturbing, but when we get into the vocal side and we are doing the mixing, you could actually see that this thing is actually way off. It's disturbing me, you understand? So I had to bring it down. Yes, that's why I brought it down around 40%, and I made it stereo on the down here. Yes, I separated it so it could be playing from both left side and the right side to create spaces in the middle, because the vocal is supposed to be in the middle. It's a mono. Yes. Okay, then our bass. So that's where the bass is actually hitting around 15 to 12 dB there. Yes. Even at this point with the gain stage, nothing is on it. Yes, nothing is really on it, with the exception of the kick. You could see that the beat is actually nice and sounding good and clean, right? Okay, then let's go to the melodies, the chords. So people like to compress it, put imager on their chorus and a whole lot. That one is not mixing. That one is sound designing. You get it? Putting chorus on it, or vocoder or vocodex or flanger or anything. And that one you are just trying to design the sound to sound different. It's not mixing. Mixing is trying to gain stage it and make it sound good. You understand? Like correcting some frequencies and make sure, yes, putting certain other stuffs on it is just designing it. So this is what I actually put on it. You let me play it for you to listen first. And it's not loud and disturbing. This is where it is actually hitting. So for this beat, but some beat, I can actually bring this if this is the piano that I'm using, it will actually come down depending on the beat that I'm actually playing. So don't stick to the meters you're saying it is hitting around 18 to 15 dB. So you always let your own hit there. Nah, it doesn't work that way. I always say use your ears to determine the one which is loud or low. You understand? So I wanted to create space for them, so I called the low ones, because when I was playing the chords, I play the low side, the bass side inside the chords, and also the chord itself. So I have to cut this one so that the bass and the kick can actually function over there. You understand? But not to cut it too much. I think this side did work for me, and I put a reverb on it just to create space. So what I attached here was the low cut here and the size here, room size around 54, and I attached this 52% and this, and I left it like that. And I just made it stereo. You can put an imager on it, or it depends on how you want. Because this is what is actually driving the song. You understand? This chord is what driving the song. So the singer is actually performing using this chord. Yeah, the rest is just supporting it aside the drums. For the melody, this is what the singer is actually following. So I wanted it to spread around, not to actually be in the middle, spread around so that the vocals will come inside the middle. That's the idea that I was having. You understand? That's why I separated it around 50%, and this is how it sounds. So if I take the effect from it, this EQ and the reverb, this is how it sounds originally. You can see that it's actually in your face. If you can feel it and see, it's actually in your face. I wanted to push it back so that other melodies and other stuff can actually occupy certain frequencies. Okay, and this guy here, look at the meter. Yes, this is where it is actually hitting. You can actually hear that it's loud, right? So, but in a way, sometimes, as I'm saying, just use your ears. Don't stick to the meters always. So this is what I actually use. The effect I put on it is this, and I brought the dry signal down, the dry knob down. So if I'm supposed to take the effect from it, dry, this is how it sounds without the reverb. And with the reverb on it, you can see how it has actually pushed it back without making the thing crash. You understand? So without the reverb, listen. You can even determine how loud it has become, and it is in your face like that, right? So it's either you bring this one down or you use EQ, the reverb to create space for the rest of the melodies. So with the reverb on it, when we get to the vocals, you could actually hear how the vocals was able to fit into the beat very well. Okay, so the next thing is this guy, the strings. Something simple. It's not really loud, disturbing you, anything, like supporting the beat in the way. So what I actually put on it was EQ. I think that is the secret here. You have to be creating spaces for the other ones to come inside using EQ and your imager and your reverb. So I have to make it wide so the other ones can actually be in the middle. So I'm trying to treat the melodies right so that the mids wouldn't be crashing or anything. You understand? So if you listen, it's all about the gain staging, right? You gain stage it right. If you don't gain stage it right, then trust me, if you put this one on it, still it's not going to work for you. You are not going to feel your beat sounding professional. You understand? Yes, make sure you gain stage it right. Your volume levels and everything is set right, that you can, without even your effect, gain stage it without putting any effect on it, and make sure that it is sounding right, hitting hard, everything is actually balanced for you. Then before you try to design it by putting EQ, imager and those things to create spaces for them, then you can actually tell that you are making some progress, and there's a whole lot of difference with it if you learn your gain stage very well. Okay, let's continue. So this is the imager that I used from Waves plugin. Around 1.20 is what I use to widen it. So without the EQ and the imager, this is how it sounds. With the EQ and the imager, make it really loud. Okay, and this sound, this is the next one. This guy is just to support, so I need not to bring it way up that everybody will hear. Yeah, okay, but don't follow rules that they say the kicks you hit 9, the snares you hit 12 dB, your percussion should be around 18, 15. Then nah, it doesn't work that way. Just use your ears and know that this is not actually working. Because of you are following rules, sometimes you could use your rules and it will work for you, but at the end of the day you could actually see here that your beat is not loud. Even when you master it, you open your limiter or your gain, like all your gain knobs on your mastering things, then still the beat is not actually loud. Even if it become loud, then it is blasting or distorting. Yes, because your mixing stage was not right. Yes, you have been following rules and just doing what is not actually. Sometimes you do mix it and you can see that the beat is not having energy in it. It's because you have been following rules, trying to compress certain things that need not to be compressed, EQing and putting chorus on certain things that doesn't need that, by overdo all those things. Yeah. Okay, so I think those are the melodies, all the melodies. So that's it. The gain staging, first of all, right sound selection, the gain staging, then the effect just to treat certain things. And my row 2, this is what I put on it. I put reverb on it after gain staging it. So this is how it sounds. You can hear, look at where it hits. Sometimes when I choose the drum kit that I choose and use to play the row, if it's actually not hitting hard, I don't care about it bypassing this. So far as it is not disturbing the beat or anything, the meter can bypass the 9 dB of my kick or where I've set my kick to. I don't care about that one. I think about, is it disturbing the beat or making it some way, you understand? So I always make sure my ears are actually working well for me. Sometimes using the meters as a guide, but not 80% trusting the meters. I'm trusting my ears in a way that, because when somebody is listening to the beat or something, it doesn't use the eyes to go and picture any meter. They use their ears in doing all those things. So use your ears and make sure what you are selecting, the way you are balancing your tune, your volume level and everything actually works. You can pan some of them if you want to or you don't want to. It's all about tricks and how you want it to be done. So if you listen to everything, this is how it sounds. this thing is sounding nice and clean. Yeah, so in the next video I'm just going to cubase and show you how I did mix it with the vocals for you to see that it sound okay and the song is actually dope for you to be a commercial and hit songs. So this is your boy King, see you straight from Busy Homies. If you have any question, just drop it down at the comment section there, and don't forget to purchase my drum kit. Okay, yes, it's your boy King, see you straight from Busy Home Beats. Yes, and I'm out.